Hey everyone, this is Judi with JLBCrafts. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. I wanted to pop on real quick. I'm really enjoying watching the Winter Olympics, so don't be surprised if there is a day here or there without a video, but I did want to pop on real quick. I've had several requests for a video on how I organize my pens. So I wanted to jump on. I have a few new pens to add to my collection, and I wanted to take the opportunity to go ahead and jump on and show you what I do. So as you can see, this says a pencil case. I will link these. These are from Amazon. I will link these in the description box. And I also found out that through the affiliate program on Amazon, I can create lists of products, the things that I like, and if you guys buy from that link, then I get a few pennies. It doesn't increase the price at all to you, but it does help me with my, as you're about to see, pen addiction habit. So enable away. So this is, it doesn't really have a brand. I think they're Asian because I've seen them on AliExpress as well, but if you order from Amazon, you might pay a tiny bit more, but you don't have the shipping that you need to wait on. So, but this, I love this. Like it says, it's more for pencils, but as you'll see, you can totally put pens in. It just affects the number of items you can put in the container. So it's got a nice pocket here. There's no Velcro or anything, but if you have any kind of advertisement or anything that comes with the pens, you can put it in there. And then there's a zip pocket back here where when I take pens out of their cases and get rid of the cases and put them in here, I save the inserts that come with them so that I have them for reference should I ever need them. I take them out of the plastic. So any pen that's in this case, its insert is in here. So let's get to the good stuff, the pens. So this different cases have different pens. This particular case has all the pens that are the right size for my brush lettering practice. There are bigger pens and there are smaller pens. And I actually got into that quite a bit on the video I did. It's called Secrets to Hand Lettering. I will link that in the cards up above. But let's go ahead and flip through here. So it's just got these inserts. They feel like they've got like a rigid plastic in there, and then it's got these elastic bands. So the number of pencils it tells you it will hold on Amazon is based on super skinny pencils, and it's based on putting about 3 in here. As you can see, with the fatter pens, you don't fit as many. So here I have my Tombow Fudenosukes. These are not the Tombow dual brush pens. Those are too big for my normal lettering practice, so those are in a different bag. So these are the Tombows. Here are the Zebra Funwaris. I got a new brush pen that I'm gonna add. It's called WEISBRANDT hard tip brush pens. Flexible brush tip, and when I tested them, they are in the right neighborhood to use for our brush lettering. So this is just this is a big, it's a big Happy Planner, 2022 Happy Planner. I think it was an 18-month actually. And I use this space for testing pens. But so here, this top, Monday the 31st, these are all of these WEISBRANDT pens. So again, I got these off of Amazon. I will link them in the description box. What I'll do is take them out of here, and I'll put the cardboard flyers and stuff in there. And so as you can see, I like to do rainbow order for my pens when I put them in here. So we'll go, I'll just stick them in here real quick. On some of these pages, this last band is a little bit bigger, and you need to put 3 pens in it instead of 2 so that they stay in there tight and they don't fall out. So, but this is how I store my pens. And of course you saw the kitty cats on the cover. Anybody who follows me and watches any of my other videos knows that that's, there's a really good reason for that. I'm a cat lady. So, but again, these are just little elastic bubbles that you can slide your pens down into, and it holds them pretty well. There we go. And will this come out? Yep, this comes out too. So now this, I mean, if you guys want to hang on to these, you totally can. I put mine in the recycle bin, and then these will go in that back pocket because the pens that these belong to are in this case. So those will go in there. Okay, so this is the fullest pen case I have, by the way. There are not very many empty spaces. So this, incidentally, is the 3-pack of black, the variety pack on the zebras that you, if you have been searching for brush pens on Amazon, you may have seen that. So next I have up to here, these are all the Pentel Touch Brush Sign Pens. There are 2 different color sets. I have them both. These are the Piochoo. So these are like the generic Tombow Fudenosukes. And I do kind of have them somewhat from stiffest to softest as well. So when I say, okay, I'll be right back, I'm gonna go pick my pens, I start here and I work my way across, picking colors that match. So next I have the Calligraphs from Archer and Olive. That's all of these. And they're the dual-ended. These are the Writechs, which I use sometimes. They're a little softer yet. The Calligraphs have the dual end. They have the really big end and the really small end, but my primary use for them right now is my hand lettering practice. So they are in with the hand lettering pens, even though they have a big end. And then this is the last section. These are the Le Pen Flex, and as you can see, since these are so skinny, I can fit 3 of these in one section. So this is where this is similar to the pencils. And then these, sadly, are my guanyas that I got from AliExpress. They're all, I don't know why, but they never, so I tried storing them tip down, and that actually made them worse. That made them even streakier. When I very first got them, they were fine. And they just never have recovered from that. But the nice thing about a container like this is, if I'm going on vacation or something and I know I want a hand letter, I can just zip it shut and throw it in a backpack or something. And I have all of my hand lettering pens with me. When it's zipped shut, and this one is pretty full, it can go on a bookshelf, right like this, if you will. And that way, none of the pens are stored tip down or tip up. They're all horizontal. So if it's laying on the floor or if it's on a bookshelf, all the pens in either orientation are horizontal, which is how you want to store your brush pens. The next set of brush pens I have are these. I'm also going to add these. These are the Pentel, sorry, not Pentel, Pilot Fude Makase. Pilot Fude Makase. So these are the Pilot ones. And at first I thought, so that those are in this section. At first I thought they were a little too pointy to want to use for hand lettering. So you can see I was writing even smaller. But I think I can get a heavy enough down that it won't look too weird and skinny and spindly. So I am going to put these, there aren't as many colors, 2, 4, 6, 8. So I need four little spaces for these. So they'll, let's see, they won't quite fit. Well, this, okay, so like I said, this, I know it's black on black, it's really hard to see. This elastic band is actually extra big, so I can fit them all there. So I can put, we'll put 3 in there. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah. You want them to be in there, you want enough of them in there to hold that tight so they don't slip out of there. So there's no yellow, so we'll go green. Oh, come on. And then light blue. And then, let's see, there's a dark, like a navy blue. Go on. Black. And then I'll go ahead and put the last one, the brown. There's only 1 guanya in there because there's 3 on this end, so that way those 2 will just share. But it's easy to see where one type of pen starts and the other one stops. So again, these are the Pilot Pilot Fude Makase. And that's it. There's no, like, there's nothing for me to save with that. Okay, so in that video that I linked earlier, I also showed you, I talked about the size of the tips of these brush pens versus the really gigantic ones. So I do have another case, and this one is not as fat because it's not nearly as full. But it's where I have my super fat guys. So I really love the Kuretakes, the Fudegokochis by Kuretake. So the brand is Kuretake, the style is Fudenosuke. So it's got a really big fat tip. So this tip I could not write this small. If I tried, let's just write my name. So there, I'm using 4 lines. And I actually did it wrong. But it's so fat, you guys. If I try to do 2 lines, so let me just write green. It's like the lettering practice. It's too fat. Okay, so these are too big for our normal lettering practice, unless you use 4 lines instead of 2. So that's this pen case. I have some miscellaneous one-offs down in here. These I got at Daiso, just the 99-cent, the Japanese 99-cent store. I have one Tombow dual brush tip that I got at a planner meetup. I got one Sharpie. My Michaels has a horrible pen selection. I have one mild liner that's got the brush tip. So these are all way too big. And then I have just a ton of empty space in this one. So those are my bigs. Now the one thing I didn't talk about in my first video, the secrets to hand lettering, is the pens that I actually prefer for writing in my classic size Happy Planner. And they are crazy super thin. So this one is much smaller. I think it might be a different brand, but again, it's got the pocket on the back. And so any pens that are in here, again, I put their plastic, their paper information in here. So these are mostly MONAMI Plus Pen 3000s. And the reason you probably haven't heard of these guys is because they won't come up when you do a search on brush pens, because technically they're not considered brush pens, but they do have a teeny crazy tiny tip that is flexible. And so if you want to write this size on a single line, instead of using 2 lines together, this is the pen for you. So let me grab one of these and let me show you. So if I write our normal size, where I take 2 lines together, so I'll write our normal size like it was hand lettering practice. So light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down, light up, and so on. Okay, so I definitely can get, let me zoom in for you guys. Let's zoom in like this is lettering practice, okay. So I definitely can get the thick and the thin, but they're not as thick and thin as these, right? So if I come over here, my light up and my heavy down, even flexing that tip as far as I can, it's not quite as wide. There's the tip. It is microscopic, you guys. And because of that, if you want to write a to-do list or something in your classic or even your mini, this is a good pen for that, because you can get away with using a single line and you still get a bit of the thin and fat, but it's, oops, I'm sorry, I'm way off camera because I zoomed all the way in, you guys. Why didn't you tell me? You can still get that brush lettering look, but it's small enough to go on a line in a classic size Happy Planner. So here's just an old page I have. It's a classic size page. You can see it doesn't take up all the discs. Well, you can't see because I'm zoomed way in, but this is a classic size page. So if I were gonna write remember, and I lied, I went up with my Ascender, but if I grab the Pentel Touch Brush Sign Pen, you're gonna see it's fatter. Well, actually, let me just compare the tips. So see the difference in the tip sizes? This one is so much smaller. So if I try to remember that size with this pen, it's a little fatter. It's a little harder to squeeze it all on there. So if you're looking for the smallest pen you can possibly find, and it helps if you spell remember right. Anyway, it wasn't going to fit. Try these MONAMI Plus pens. They're not very expensive. Now, they're not as high a quality. And so you may notice as I turn the pen, I rotate it, the tip is a little deflected. It didn't quite bounce back to center, but that's okay. If you get into the habit, you can get in the habit of spinning as you write, and that'll help with that a little bit. But you can see it's not quite as fat, so I can get a little bit smaller on this. It's not gonna be completely small enough, but it's the smallest pen I've found where you can get something like brush lettering for, say, a classic happy planner without having to take up a huge amount of space. And then the last one I have, so this is another really good Japanese brand. This is the Kuretake. Let's see. This is the other one, the really, really big one was the Fude Biori. This is the Fudegokochi. And then there's also the clean color dot, which is the bingo marker style ones. But these are super, super tiny, similar to the Monamis. So let me show you that one. So I was going to go ahead. I do have a little bit of space. So this is the entire color set of the Monamis. There are a ton, a bunch. And this is just a single, there are no dividers on this one. This is just a single pocket. So, but the tip on this one, again, is super, super tiny. Similar to the Monami, not quite as fat as the ones we've been using. So, let me show you this one. So even when I flex this one really hard, it doesn't get as fat. And this one actually bounces back. So this one does a better job of bouncing back. Light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down. You see that? Yeah. Okay. So now I've covered all three sizes of pen. The super duper tiny, like micro fine that you could use to get something that looks kind of like brush lettering in your classic or even a mini without it taking up half of your page. The really, really big, which I like to use for like one great big letter, one great big word, sometimes on the left-hand side of my dashboard planner. I've done that in a couple of videos. For those, you're going to want the Fude Bioris, or the fat end of the acrylograph, or the fat end of the Tombow dual brush pens. Those really, really, really big ones. And then these super, super tiny ones. These are the smallest ones. Like I said, I found the Monami 3000, and these now Kuretake, and I already forgot the name of it. Fudegokochi. All right. So there we go, you guys. There was just my super, super quick little intro on pens and how I store them. This also has extra pockets for like erasers and stuff if you do want to use them for pencils or paints or whatever. So I hope you like this video. I hope it helps you, gives you some ideas on how you can store all your pens. If it does, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.